Hello and welcome back to Reading in Isolation with Heather Rose. We are up to chapter 19 of Finding Serendipity, the book I write with my dear friend Danielle Wood under the pen name of Angelica Banks. And we are reading this book for primary age readers and their mums and dads and carers while we're in isolation in 2020. So we're up to chapter 19. Tuesday's in the library. She's just been discovered by the librarian. And she's just had an interesting conversation with Blake Luckhurst where they discovered a room full of all the ideas for books, just the half-formed ideas for books. And Tuesday has discovered that she has a book in that room with her name on it. So let's see what happens as our story progresses. Chapter 19. "Please don't send me home," Tuesday begged. "I know that I didn't do exactly as you said, but please, it's my dog and Vivienne's small. They're out there in trouble and I have to help them." "Get control of yourself, child," the librarian said, her voice warming just a little. "So, have you made progress? Tell me." And so for the second time that night, Tuesday told her the story. Good, said the librarian. "I knew I was right about you. I think that this will be only the first of many stories from your pen." "Well, that's all very well," said Tuesday, "but I can't find my mother, which is why I came here in the first place. I can't find her, and I can't find the end, so I have no idea what to do next." "Well, let me ask you this, Tuesday," said the librarian, staring into Tuesday's blue-green eyes. "Where did you leave your mother?" "Leave her? I didn't leave her anywhere. I told you, remember, that she went missing and I came here to find her." "Then where did you last see her?" continued the librarian. "At home, of course," said Tuesday. It seemed like a lifetime ago that Tuesday had set out for her last day at school before the holidays. As usual, she had crossed the road outside their house and looking all the way up to the top story, she had seen her mother in the window waving goodbye. "Then it is plausible, is it not, that this is precisely where she is to be found?" the librarian asked gently. "I keep telling you she was missing and I wrote about that on her typewriter and that's why I came here." "Exactly. You wrote about it and then you came here. You came here. But is it not within the realm of possibility, Tuesday McGillicuddy," said the librarian slowly and with a knowing look, "that your mother, or should I say Serendipity Smith, has returned home while you, in fact, have been busy here?" Tuesday gazed into the librarian's animated face. "You knew," she said to the librarian. "You've known all along who my mother is, and you knew all along that she wasn't here." "Dear Tuesday, it's my business to know all that goes on in this place. But what kind of story would it have been? Girl arrived in a strange and wondrous world, looking for her mother, and the first person she meets says, 'Oh, your mother, she's gone home.' And the girl goes home, and there's her mother. Tut, Tuesday McGillicuddy, where would the world be with stories like that?" The librarian turned on her slippered heels and began walking at a cracking pace beside the bookshelves. "Come," she called behind her. "Wait," said Tuesday. "You let me go out there into a dangerous world where Baxter nearly drowned. Then we met Mothwood, who by all rights should be dead, and his vicious pirates. He's captured my dog and wants to kill Vivienne Small. He might have killed me for all I know, and all along you knew that my mother wasn't even here. They're still out there on Mothwood's ship with no help at all. Vivienne could be dead by now. And what kind of a person are you?" she demanded, surprised at the rage she suddenly felt. "Well, in my defence, Tuesday, Castor Mothwood's resurrection was somewhat unexpected," the librarian said with a sheepish shrug. "But in answer to your question, I can tell you that I, the librarian of the one great library, am nothing more and nothing less than a lover of stories, of books, of the world of imagination. And I think you are too. And tell me honestly now, would you truly change a thing?
Would you miss meeting Vivienne Small, or learning to sail, or discovering that dear Baxter is in fact a legendary winged dog?"
The librarian glanced at her with twinkling eyes as she led Tuesday through a door and across a sitting room. The librarian swept back the long drapes and opened a set of French doors onto the balcony of the library. "What do I do now?" Tuesday asked.
"What you must do is find the ending of your story before I change my mind," said the librarian.
She almost shooed Tuesday out the door. "But I came here for help," Tuesday said desperately. The librarian sighed.
"Come here, child,"
she said, beckoning Tuesday to a white marble bench that overlooked a fountain and the gardens of the library. They sat, and the librarian laid a tiny hand on Tuesday's knee.
"Do you know what serendipity is, Tuesday?"
Tuesday startled at the mention of her mother's name, but before she could speak, the librarian continued.
"A story is like a giant jigsaw puzzle. A jigsaw puzzle that would cover the whole floor of a room with its tiny pieces. But it's not the sort of puzzle that comes with a box. There's no lid with a picture on it so that you can see what the puzzle will look like when it's finished. And you only have some of the pieces. All you can do is keep looking and listening, sniffing about in all sorts of places until you find the next piece. And then you'll be amazed where that next piece will take you. Suddenly your puzzle can have a whole new person in it, or it can go from being on a train to a hot air balloon, from city to country, from love to sadness to loneliness and back to love. Pieces can come to you at any time, when you're having a cup of tea or sitting on a bus or talking with a friend. It will be like a bell going off in your head. That's what comes next, you will think, and that's why it's serendipity. Serendipity is luck and chance and fate, all tumbled into one.
"But how do I end my story?" Tuesday asked. Her eyebrows scrunched together as she thought deeply about all the librarian had said. The librarian smiled.
"I cannot answer that question. I am a reader. You are the writer, Tuesday. This is not your mother's world anymore. You've made it your own. So it is up to you to find an ending that makes your eyes sparkle and your heart race. That, dear girl, is the way to the end."
Tuesday nodded.
"Imagine," the librarian whispered. "Now off you go and make me proud."
"I will, I promise," said Tuesday, getting to her feet. She was beginning at last to understand what she must do.
"And mind you take care of your thread," the librarian said.
She smiled as she produced a much larger silvery ball of string from the pocket of her dressing gown.
"As you get more experienced, you'll get better at coming and going."
"Oh," said Tuesday, somehow very relieved to see it. It had a tiny cardboard tag attached to it with the initials TM in very small letters.
"If you lose it, there's no way home," said the librarian.
"Oh, thank you," Tuesday said, and impulsively she threw her arms around the librarian.
Yes, very good, dear," said the librarian, fending her off.
"If I wanted to, I could throw this up in the air right now and I'd be back in Brown Street?" Tuesday asked.
"You could," agreed the librarian.
Tuesday thought of a great many things at once, of her mother's worried face, of her father's blueberry pancakes, of Mothwood reaching out to Pat Baxter, of Vivienne beside the fire telling Tuesday she'd come from an egg, of Baxter towing her home from school on her roller shoes. "But I won't," Tuesday said, pushing the ball into her jacket pocket.
"I have a good feeling about you, Tuesday McGillicuddy. Now go," said the librarian briskly. "There's no time to lose."
Tuesday walked towards the doors back into the dining room, planning to return to Vivacious through the trapdoor in the floor.
No, not that way. Use the stairs. Much easier," said the librarian, pointing the way. "Ladders, of all things."
Tuesday sprinted to the side of the library, and using all the speed her legs possessed, she ran down the long flight of curving stone stairs. At the bottom, Instead of the fields that had met her on her first morning and the view across to the peppermint forest, there was a small jetty and a grassy shore, waiting patiently, her sails already billowing in the new light, was Vivacious. And that is the end of chapter 19. I will see you back for more next time with chapter 20, when we will return to the silverfish. Bye for now.